be
Yeah,
live
well,
on
yeah,
air.
actually, yeah. Why not? Why shouldn't I?
Okay, go right ahead.
You're going on vacation. You'll be fine.
Why are you laughing at it like that about it?
Because you think it's bad.
I don't think it's bad.
You think I'm gonna give you a hard time.
You said you just directly said you're going
I got a good ribbon for you.
a good ribbing,
Yeah.
which means you're going to tease me about something.
Yes. You are correct.
Good God. Let it roll.
No,
Don't hold it in any longer.
not holding it in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Slip Into the Night, episode 15. Christmas is a trip.
In more ways than one.
Yeah. Happy holidays to everybody out there. The Christmas season. I don't know about for everybody out there, but for me, I know my first Christmas get together is tomorrow. I know everybody starts their little family get togethers and gatherings and hoo ha's and et cetera, et cetera. We got to get through this show because Holly's on her way to warmer climates. Gonna spend some time with her daughter in some warmer locales, which I think is a great idea. Wish I could do that right now. Is it torrential raining where you are? It is here.
Yes, I'm not impressed.
Did you get the flood warnings like we did?
I've been too busy with
Well,
stuff.
my phone went off twice this morning. Like,
But you're right. You are right there on the ocean, so
yeah,
if you have a storm surge, it really could go in your front door.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy. The wind is whipping like a son of a bitch. But yeah, it's raining out there. It's funny because we got snow, and I was like, oh, this could be interesting. We'll probably have like a white Christmas, and then nope. It got up to like what was it, like 40 something yesterday, and just all the snow is gone now with the rain. So, nope, no white Christmas unless we get some more snow between now and then. But yeah, I know mine's starting tomorrow. Like I said, Holly's taking off. She is on her way. Gonna now. Have you ever done anything like this before, Holly?
No.
This is your first time, like going. Like, I mean, you've
Well,
been.
so all right, I wasn't going to share this much about my trip, but I've been to Florida before.
Well,
This
you
is
don't
the
have to say
first
where you're going, but
this is the first time I'm doing this alone with my daughter. So that and I never did much of the trip planning before. So this is just like it's a new I'm breaking out of patterns, right? My pattern of like not leaving my little small town. So I'm going someplace.
well, you're doing more than that than
Yeah.
Florida. But we don't need to get into that. But anyway, like, so you've never really done anything like this.
Nope.
Okay, so this should be interesting for you, and I'm like really excited for you.
Yeah, I'm popping my travel cherry.
Yeah, it'll be fun. You'll have a good time. I think you'll really enjoy it. I think you'll really enjoy it. Like I told, I've been on one cruise. I myself didn't. Hey, I didn't say where you're going. I myself have done this. Okay, and like I told you, it's just relax.
We know that I'm way more high strung than you are. So
Holly, these idiots that listen to this show, they're not gonna come fucking find you. They're too fucking far and few between.
I'm not thinking that. I was just like not going to bring my travel stuff
Well,
into
they
the.
know you're going somewhere. Like, and enjoy the fact that you're going somewhere. Enjoy it, woman.
Oh gosh,
Enjoy
you
that
did
shit.
say you're going to give me a ribbing.
This is your Christmas present to yourself and your daughter.
Well, yeah, it's more than that actually because she
Well, I
did
know
so.
that, yeah. So, but I mean, this is something that you should enjoy and fucking just go with it.
I am.
Okay.
I think I just sometimes enjoy things in a more type A fashion.
Yeah, you keep things too tight. You gotta Let that shit out. Let that shit out. But yeah, so we decided to do something Christmassy
We did.
because I don't know if we'll do a makeup show next week. The Holly gets back next weekend, and it's kind of weird. So maybe we'll try to do a makeup show, or we'll just skip next week and then go straight to next Saturday. But we figured we'd do something Christmassy. And like I said, I don't want to take too long today because Holly's got some stuff that she wants to take care of. But I wanted to get a show out for you guys today. And do something along these lines because I'm not doing anything like this this year on the 40 and slip. So I'm not really doing. We are doing kind of a Christmas show, but not like going into any traditions or legends or whatnot. More mysteries on the 40 and slip this year. So, but you sent me a bunch of stuff, Holly.
I had a night where I just couldn't quite sleep, so I did some research, and I kind of bombed you full of research. Message.
So I'd like to explain what happens to the people who listen.
I got excited, and then I said, and then I know you're not gonna like read any of it.
No.
But sometimes I use it as like a placeholder, like, oh,
right.
this is. Yeah.
Well, a lot of times, like what I do is I go through them.
Oh.
And I get the gist of it, so that I know where you're gonna go, and then see what I know about the subject matter already. You know, like I went through the stuff this past time, and I was like, oh yeah, the Amanita muscaria mushrooms and the fucking reindeer, and blah, 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 blah. So I was like, yeah, okay, I get this. But here's the thing. So for the folks at home, every week Holly and I decide on a topic. And imagine, if you will, that your co-host every week sends you a class syllabus for an entire semester of a college course that you have to cram into one fucking week. That's what I get from Holly. It's hilarious because I'll open your message on Facebook and I'll be like, holy shit. The fuck is this? But no, it's usually pretty good because, like I said, I can go down through them and get an idea of where your head's at.
Yeah.
Without going too deep and giving me, frame of reference.
Right.
So
I am a world-class like researcher, like information finder, like,
No, you?
Yeah, so I find good stuff, and then I forget sometimes that other people just don't process the amount of information that.
Oh no. See, I do. But you got to remember something too, is I with doing this stuff, I am constantly bombarded with a lot of this shit. So I'm constantly taking in all kinds of information. Like lately I've been like on this whole kick with strange disappearances and stuff because I found this cool channel on YouTube. But ultimately it's good for show topics. But I've got the show topics that I do for the 40 and slip. I got this. Plus I try to squeeze in like secret shows, which I haven't done in a while and I need to do one soon. And on rare occasions, I even do like the stuff with David. So, which has been kind of like put on the hiatus for a while. David's got shit going on, but I'm constantly got all this shit going on that I'm trying to do, plus the fucking like page and all that. So when you throw the stuff at me, like with this stuff, I try to keep my role a little more peripheral than diving right into it, like I do with the other stuff, if that makes sense.
Yep, makes sense.
Because you go all the way. So you've got this well, not, I won't say like fairly, I won't say fairly overall understanding. Like you're not like an expert on the subject or anything, but you've got the understanding of the subject matter that you're going to go with, and then I can just kind of go along
Yeah, it's
and give my
funny.
opinions.
What's funny is I feel like that was like a half an hour of me like browsing around about things that interested me. and, and I
I was just hanging out.
yeah, and it was like,
A
oh,
lot of that stuff is though.
yeah,
When I do a lot of this stuff for either this show or the 40 and slip, it's all stuff that I enjoy looking into. So it's not like it's just that I have so much of it
yeah.
to look through all the time. But this stuff, the stuff that you had sent me was, things I've gone over, before a lot of it. Like the one thing that I or idea theory that I love about the whole Christmas slash Santa Claus reindeer shit is the Amanita muscaria mushroom. The little red and white dotted mushroom, which is eaten by reindeer.
Right. So can I just back up? So like the premise of the show is the ideas, like things, kind of myths and backgrounds behind some of our Christmas holiday traditions that are
Yeah.
maybe not what we have
Been
what we
told.
think about or what we've been told. So one of them is that the legend of Santa Claus, which is he's kind of this saint-like character who comes and delivers toys to children and drives the reindeer-driven sleigh, and that some people are putting forth this idea that this is based on some shamanic traditions that have to do with eating magic mushrooms, basically. The
Mhm.
Amanita muscaria mushroom.
Well, there's people that think that because people saw the reindeer eating them, that they thought they were also edible at the time. And when they ate them, because I think Amanita muscaria mushrooms, you can't eat them in large quantities.
No, they're toxic.
Yeah, they're toxic. If to get the hallucinogenic effects, it has to be a very limited amount. It's a scary one to fucking play with. But what they assume is that these people, after doing this, that's why they saw the reindeer, quote unquote, fly. That it was nothing more than a mushroom trip. There is also, I mean, if you go down this rabbit hole a little further, there's a whole belief that the basis of Christianity is all on tripping. Mushrooms and fucking DMT, and the entire Christian religion is just a one big fucking not acid trip, but just fucking psychedelic trip. It's some pretty weird rabbit holes you can go down.
Yeah.
But and then so the mushroom becomes this fucking kind of sacred thing. And with the whole like reindeer idea, it becomes this like magical thing, which therein like the colors become the suit for Santa.
The red and the white, which is the
Right.
colors of the Amanita mushroom.
Right.
Yep.
So it's an interesting little ditty, if you will.
Right. Well, and they often link it with Siberian shamanism, and they're saying that the Siberian shamans, there's some dispute about that, but that they would wear the red and white suits, and that they would be the ones who are, they're traveling to home to bring gifts of healing, and they're using the mushrooms to go on shamanic journeys to do energetic spiritual healing, and using the the mushrooms to facilitate
I
that.
saw Santa Claus is coming to town. I know the fucking witch guy out in the woods made the snow globe out of snow, and he taught that shit to Santa.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
the Siberian shamans. I mean, we all know that there have been these native type traditions to different lands Of course there were.
Hmm.
You know.
Well, and a lot of them were incorporated into Christianity in its early development in the first and second centuries to
Well,
help
here's
to
something
help.
that most people don't realize, Holly, which is kind of funny to me,
Mhm,
is that Christianity and these different religious factions over the years have accepted things that were very paranormal at different
mhm,
times.
mhm.
In the early 1900s, seances were huge.
Yep.
You know, shit like that was really, really big. And now, if you fucking went to church going people and was like, hey, let's have a seance this Friday night.
Right. Yeah. Because of the different way different belief systems have kind of evolved and diverged,
Right.
and yep, it's a kind of an interesting thing. How the kind of the evolution of people's belief systems.
Right. And the
Like
same,
the.
and I think it kind of relates as far as like this whole Christmas tradition thing, because there are
Mhm,
so many things that used to be one way
mhm.
that now they're looked at in a different way, like the whole Christmas tree idea.
The Christmas tree. Yeah. Yep.
You know, that whole thing came from something completely not completely different, but different.
Right. So, and one of the things too is that the actual Christmas season of December, one is not likely when Jesus was born.
Oh
A lot
no.
of historians believe that he was born in like March or April,
Yeah.
based on like the biblical text talking about how the shepherds were herding the sheep and the basically different things that were going on. Like the censuses were done in the springtime. Um, so, how did his birthday get moved 3 months back to the middle of to December 25th? Well, this is the time of solstice, and for thousands of years this solstice um time has been a big time of celebration. you know this winter solstice is the longest night of the year. The summer solstice is the longest daylight time of the year, and the ancient peoples who were watching the seasons celebrated that. And lots of the holidays are dealing with, in the wintertime, this time of year, with the coming of the light, or the rebirth of the light. So you have the solstice, you have Yule, you have a lot of different like um
And each
holidays.
tradition looks at it differently.
Yeah, they all celebrate it a little bit differently, but it is
Yeah.
kind of centered around the celebration of light in the darkness, and whether it's
In
a.
a lot of traditions, like the god figure dies in the winter after mating with the goddess and then is reborn in the spring.
Mhm.
There's all kinds of different weird traditions and legends and stories and ways that they wrap their brains around this stuff. But I mean, the Christmas tradition itself, there's so much of it that can be linked back to pagan traditions, like you were saying, shamanic type traditions. Um, it's if you take any deep look into it, it's very obvious. It's not it's not even hidden.
Well, right. It's not. And I mean, I think there's different reasons for that. I think some of it is if you're sharing your spirituality through different cultures, you want to incorporate some of the other traditions in and make it more inclusive.
Yeah, that's
So I don't,
exactly what they did.
and I don't know if that was always, sometimes it's perceived in a bad way, but it's not. But really, what we're doing around Christmas time now is a lot of this winter solstice celebration,
Right.
um, with this new layer on top of it. Um, and then there's really a lot of interesting stuff. How like that whole birth story in the Christian tradition is kind of has elements from other um, mythologies, like the Egyptian Isis myths, where Isis has Horus, and there's a lot of parallels between the Egyptian goddess Isis and her son Horus, and in the Virgin Mary and Jesus, where Isis was called the Queen of Heaven and that's a title that is later given to the Virgin Mary. And in art history, they are depicted in very similar ways. So you kind of see, even though there isn't like a written link, there is this kind of imagery link of how they were depicted and how
in Norse mythology, Odin is very much like Jesus.
Yep.
So I mean, there's so many. I mean, the parallels that can be made between the different religions that harken back to these times, the times a year that we celebrate these traditions. Whether it be the solstice or whatever, it's all just harkening back to that, in my opinion. And is that a bad thing? No, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a bad thing that that we forget. We forget the roots of it. I think that should be remembered, like where it came from. Oftentimes people will say, remember your history, you'll be doomed to repeat it. But oftentimes the history books are written by the victors. So history is not, the history we see isn't the true history. You have to dig a little deeper. And I think that in remembering like these traditions, like we have to, hey, does it hurt anything in the end? I don't ultimately think so. Is it hurting anything that they all want to think that Jesus' birthday is the 25th of December? Nah.
No, the 25th of December is also Saturnalia, which is the Roman festival of Saturn, where it's interesting that he was like the captive god. He was overthrown by Zeus, and he was, often depicted as being bound up, with leather straps tying up his hands and feet. And around when he had his festival, he Saturn was considered to be unbound, and this is when like society sort of like flipped over, and that there would be festivals and partying, and it would be a time when there was some power given to people of lesser power to be kind of rule, because they were celebrating this kind of flip-flop of society. Yeah.
That one I didn't know about.
Yeah. Saturnalia.
Those Romans. They're fucking orgies. They're big fucking orgies. They made music for orgies. That's how big Romans were into their orgies.
Hey, they knew how to let loose.
They had they had Roman orgy music. Yeah, you've heard like Camina Barata, I assume.
I don't know what that is.
Oh my god, come on, you're an art history major.
Camina Barata. I mean, I might know it, but
it's if you ever listen to any like dramatic movies, it's in like the dun 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 boom boom dun 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 dun. Everybody's fucking heard it. But it's fucking orgy music.
From the Romans.
Yeah, it's fucking. Look it up after the show. You can listen to it when you're driving in your car. But yeah, so I mean, these fucking traditions, they just, they live on. I think to some degree, but over time, things get lost, as with everything. That's why I think a lot of our history is gone. We try, no matter how hard we try to save it or hold on to it, it seems like it slips through your fingers, or slips through the fingers of the human race. So I don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever be able to truly hold on to history. But you see things like this, these traditions like Christmas or, Easter or whatever the fucking case may be. It's literally just people holding on to old traditions.
Well, I mean, not everyone. There are still people who celebrate solstice. There are still people who
Oh yeah,
celebrate.
but even they
Yeah,
are still holding on to old traditions. They're
yeah,
keeping those traditions alive, and those
mhm.
traditions that those things that they may be doing probably aren't the same as they were, let's say, 1,000 years ago. I'm willing to bet in 1019, the shamans slash whatever at the time weren't doing the same types of things as far as rituals as we would be doing today. It's
Oh,
changed.
yeah, yeah. It's changed.
So they're holding on to this tradition. They're trying to keep it alive. And that in and of itself, I think, is a great thing. But over time, it's like that whole telephone game. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Where I whisper in your ear something, you whisper in the next ear. So by the end of the line, it's something totally different.
Yes, agreed.
So it's the same type of thing, but it's just happening over centuries.
Hmm.
And today we have Christmas.
Hmm.
And before we had, who fucking knows, some dude in a carriage.
Hmm.
I mean, ultimately that's how it happens, though. Like literally, the story could have been like some dude on horseback, like just giving out shit to people. Possibly, I'm just like making up shit right this second. But that just like eventually progresses to fat guy in a sleigh with flying fucking reindeer.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
And kudos to Walmart for trying to explain to everybody how he fucking makes it through. That Santa doing cocaine sweater that they had to pull.
wow.
Yeah, you didn't see that?
You know,
They
no.
literally had a sweater at Walmart with Santa on it with a straw in his hand and
Hmm.
3 lines on the table in front of him.
Oh boy.
And it said, "Let it snow."
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure I'm sure the person who was responsible for buying that clothing lot might be looking for a job.
Maybe, yes. Oh my goodness. Well, right. So I think some of that is too is that we are much more empowered that we can celebrate however we want.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people get bogged down by the holiday season and like I hear a lot of complaints about the commercialism and having to have a lot of obligations and
I'll tell you though, I worked in retail coming out of high school for a
Mhm.
while. And working in a retail environment for years will destroy how you feel about the holidays.
Yeah.
It will not help one fucking bit. The first time you have to try to corral people coming into a store on Black Friday, you lose a lot of respect for humanity. A shit ton. It's like you guys are fucking plowing in here for a goddamn Furby. What are you doing
uh,
with your fucking lives? Anytime I see any of these fucking storming the fucking store Black Friday videos, like, which they've gotten better about it now. They make a lot of the places make people take numbers and shit, which they should have been doing a long time ago. They let that shit get way out of hand. Um, but yeah, I mean, working in retail, it will fucking ruin you for the holidays as you watch that shit. I watched for years as they pushed back, like how early they would send the Christmas shit and how early they would force it out onto the floor. And now, Christ, it's
so
it's
right
before
now,
Halloween.
Right. So at least commercially, it is not about the bringing of the light into the darkness.
No, no,
But it is
and
about
and 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 it should
the
be more
Benjamins.
like, I think it should be more like, and I recently, like, somebody had said, we're gonna do a Yankee swap with the family, and I'm like, why? Like, is it too much for us to just get together and talk and be a family and spend some time together? Do we have to exchange gifts?
Right.
Like,
Well, I think that poses an interesting question: is the gift giving thing kind of overtaken some of the other valuable
I think it's
gifts?
become what I think has happened with the gift giving thing is it's become it's almost become a one up thing. I can do better than you can do. So I'm going to go out and get this, you know.
Mm,
And I don't think that people mean so much to do it. I think I think some of it has to do with some people grow up poor and they don't have much, and then they have something and then they just want to do. Or whatever the case may be, or people feel like they don't have enough, so they overdo. But it's become very commercialized, and it's too bad. Like when I think of the holidays, I don't think about when I think back on holidays, I don't think back about the presents that I got. I think about the interactions that I had with family members. Those are the things that stick in my head. It's not
mhm,
the fucking stupid toy I got at whatever age, or the thing that I got, whatever, however many years ago.
mhm,
It's it's that interaction. It's the time that I get to spend with them.
mhm,
Those are the things that should matter.
mhm,
But and those are the things to me that stand out.
mhm,
Like when I was a kid, like the fucking goddamn Mickey Mouse train that I got. That's what I wanted.
mhm.
But now when I think back to that moment, I don't think about that fucking train. I think back about the people I was with. And
Mhm,
and I think if people started looking at this more in that vein, like, hey, this is time to spend with your family.
mhm,
Enjoy that.
mhm. Yeah.
Enjoy that time. It doesn't you don't have to be, you don't have to make it about exchanging these things. These things don't define us. Um, how we treat each other defines us. I think that's more important. So yeah, there's a fucking holiday message today, people. Be good to one another. Like I should have to fucking say that to you. Fucking be good to one another, god damn it.
And enjoy your Saturnalia.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Flip your tables. Hmm. I don't know.
well, I mean, I think it was really though Saturnalia was a time where it was meant to just be let loose a little bit.
Yeah, flip your
Um,
tables. Be on top of
yep,
the world.
you
Tables
know.
turn,
Hmm.
sort of thing.
Yeah. Um, interesting. This year there will be a solar eclipse right at the day after Christmas on the 26th.
Ooh.
So we will definitely have the astronomical darkness because usually that's the dark night of the sky, and just lines up with Christmas this year.
Cool. I'll be looking for that. If it isn't
If you,
gray like it has been.
I think in some parts of the world during the daytime you can see the moon pass in front of the sun, but I don't think in the northeast of the United States we'll be able to see that. I think it's more like
Mid
um, Singapore.
that area.
Yeah, Southeast Asia. Yes. So if you're
More equator area.
yeah, it's a total annular eclipse, and so the moon will pass in front of the sun. It's not visible from the United States. It is visible if you are um
So if you're in
in
Singapore,
yeah, in like the
hey,
Singapore area.
you're all in. Check that shit out. You
Yeah.
aren't listening to us. Anybody wants to see it, grab a plane ticket now.
Yeah.
That holiday travel's a bitch. I would
Yeah,
not want
and
to
in
try to
fact,
travel on the holiday.
in some parts of the world, it actually is happening on December 25th. So that's kind of an interesting thing.
Hmm.
Like 10 o'clock. So it'll be like the Christmas eclipse of 2019 to take the into the next decade.
Yeah, as we just had our last Friday the 13th of the
I know. So many
decade.
of these. You know what? That's another thing. Like that has that mythology of being a really bad day, but in some traditions, 13 is the number of the goddess, and Friday is the day of Venus or of um, Frigga. Frigga is the Norse goddess that's the equivalent of Venus. So, but it's really the day of the goddess in some traditions.
Hmm.
I bet you didn't know that.
No, I just know that a guy puts on a hockey mask and kills people
Yeah. It's
for his
yeah, and
mom.
I mean, and it's been kind of warped into this like day of evil supernatural occurrences, and yet in some other ways of looking at it, it is the day to celebrate the goddess of love and abundance.
I believe more on Saturday the 14th.
What's Saturday the 14th?
That's a callback to a horrible movie.
Mm,
That's what it is.
yeah.
There was a movie called Saturday the 14th.
Oh dear.
Yes, it does exist. Look it up.
Hmm.
But yeah. I'm gonna wrap this up though, Holly, so that you can get yourself moving. I don't want to stifle your travel plans today too much.
Oh, this is not stifling at all. This is
Well,
a
I know, but at the same time, like you got some stuff you have to get situated today, and I do not want to be to hold you up from getting those things done today.
yeah.
I want you to get on your trip and have a good time and not have any more speed bumps or otherwise along the way.
Yeah.
So, on that note, Merry Christmas, everybody, from Holly and I here at Slip Into the Night. The Freudian Slip will be regularly Sunday night. And next Sunday, the one after, in case you want to get. Tomorrow night, we will be discussing the Coney murders, also known as the Star Wars murders. Interesting little ditty I found. But until we return, we don't know what we'll be coming back with. I'm going to kind of let Holly just enjoy her vacation. But we will be back in a couple of weeks. Maybe, possibly, we'll do a makeup show. Not sure yet. Within the next week after she gets back. But we will let you know. But until then, have some of them there happy holidays, everybody.